now going to demonstrate how to inject your dog. The commonest reason an owner would have to inject a dog if they have diabetes diagnosed. We've normally always got 20 or 30 dogs with this condition, so it is relatively common like it is in humans. So we'll demonstrate for insulin, but if you did ever have to have an injection given to you by the vet for any other reason, the principle is the same. It's always a subcutaneous injection, which means under the skin. You keep the insulin bottle in the fridge. Again, you have to, it's a suspension, so you do have to shake it before you inject it, just to mix the contents evenly. And it's got a little cap with a rubber that self-seals, so when you hold the bottle upside down, nothing comes out. What we do is, you'll be told what dose to give anyway, but what you're better off doing is actually, you put the needle, hold the bottle upside down vertically, you put the needle inside the rubber, and then you draw down. You always will get a little bit of air following, so you let it draw down, and on this case, say we were giving 20 units, we actually put a bigger dose in the syringe. There's always an air bubble at the top which you can't avoid. You can gently flick it to push it in, but then you're better off letting a little bit go back up, and then we stop at the top of the black part of the rubber plunger. And that is 20 units, which is in the syringe and in the needle. If you just stopped at 20, it would be pretty well guaranteed you've got air in the top and air in the needle. You then just draw it out, turn your bottle the other way around, put your bottle in the fridge, and you have your injection ready to give. So what we then do is, when we inject the jog, we inject it under the skin on the neck. I'm left-handed, so if you're right-handed you might be doing it the other way around, but you don't want the needle to go in at right angles to the body, you want it to go in parallel to the body. That way you're not going to touch any of the muscle or shoulder blades below. So here we've got, you literally with your thumb and forefinger of the hand you're not jabbing with, you lift up the skin into like a tent, and then you put your needle in parallel to the body. And once you've done it a few times, you can feel the needle go through the skin. Once it's under the skin, you then gently just push the plunger, and as you see there, and then you take it out, and Will hasn't even noticed they've injected her there. The two things you can do wrong is not put the needle in far enough, or particularly in cats, if the skin is very thin, if you pull it up too taut, you could put the needle in one side and out the other. If you did that, you'd have a wet mark on the opposite side to where you put the needle in. If you didn't put it in far enough, you'd have a wet mark where you injected. So you would get an idea, and once you've done it 2 or 3 times, you do get a feel for it. So it's just a case of watching where you put it and gently going and feeling for it going through the skin. Again, if the dog isn't moving, the dog's not going to feel anything. If you do have a dog that won't sit still, it's probably a good idea, particularly the first few times, have someone just standing, supporting their legs so that they don't move then. Because if they do move, it might actually hurt. So by keeping them still, you do save all those issues then.